What's up, RuneScapers? This is a brand new, exclusively RuneScape YouTube channel, and you're watching my very first upload. I've been saying I was going to make a YouTube channel for like the past year. So, when I found out about the Elite Dungeons being released this week, I finally decided to just jump in and make some content. For anyone that might not know, the Temple of Aminishi is RuneScape's first Elite Dungeon. Elite Dungeons will function similarly to the Beastmaster and Yakamaru raids. However, there are many unique differences, which are bound to make this new PvM experience awesome. Without getting into all the differences and spoiling the fun, a key difference I'll mention now is that Jagex has stated it's possible to take down this dungeon solo. So that's exactly what we're going to attempt to do. Without further ado, let's head to the bank and get ready to go. Alright, we've got some good equipment, a hopefully decent inventory, depending on the situations that we might face inside, and a pretty standard food supply in the pack yak. Now that we're feeling reasonably prepared to make a first solo attempt, it's time to actually get there. I'm going to take a lodestone to Port Sarim. Then I'm going to walk north. I'm going to wind my way to the east until I find myself at the northeasternmost side of the Port Sarim dock. If you haven't completed a quest called Impressing the Locals, you'll need to complete it before being able to access the temple. Hey, I actually know that guy. Kind of funny. Anyways, keep walking past that guy, right-click on Quartermaster Gully, choose the travel option, choose the southernmost island called Aminishi Island on that mini-map. Once you're on the island, you're going to take the first left and go up those stairs. Once you reach the top of the stairs, you're going to continue that path as it winds its way to the northernmost end of Aminishi Island. We've got the gear, we've got the food, and now we've got the temple. Let the day one deaths begin. Alright, now that I've reached the temple door, when I click on it, I'm seeing two options, normal mode and story mode. So from what I know so far, story mode is actually easier. I think the ads either have less health or they deal less damage or something. So I'm choosing that, especially for a first run through. And since I'm in a solo group, I just feel like that's going to be a little safer. And wow, this looks really cool. So, big room when you first get in. Kind of reminds me of the Minifos library a little bit. Just kind of the general, my first impression kind of feels like that. Okay, so I'm seeing a couple ads here. Elite Soprana is what they're called. And looks like they attack with Mage, so I'm going to try Soul Split. And they are using range. Okay. So I think I'm going to stick with Soul Split for now, just to see how that goes. And it looks like the other NPCs aggroed as well. So I have Insight off. I don't think Insight would really make a difference anyways, since I'm doing a solo. But just thought I should mention that. Seeing some more ads here on the left-hand side. These are more Elite Sopranos, so they should also be using range, I think. Yes. And my first impression also tells me that area of effect abilities would probably be pretty useful here. So maybe try to prioritize those more. And I am not wearing my Ring of Dwarves, so I'm going to switch to that. I heard that Jagex said that there's actually a pretty decent chance of getting a Hazelmere Signet Ring from this dungeon, because all of these monsters have access to the rare drop table. So if you're just going to be killing the ads, you should try to remember to wear a luck ring while you're in here. So hopefully I can remember to do that. I know that whenever I do my Sunshine Planted Feet switch, I also switch to my Ring of Vigor and my keybinds, switch it back to my Ring of Death. So I'll have to maybe be mindful of switching back to the Dwarf Ring. Okay, so we have a room to my left side. I don't think I need to go in there. That doesn't seem like it leads anywhere. And then on the southern end of the room, also appears to lead to some smaller rooms. So it looks like I need to head east. I'm seeing a red door in the far northeast corner. I'm also seeing some mini-bosses. The little monster icons on the mini-map, if you all can see that. So yeah, I'm just spamming AoE abilities, using Sunshine when I see big groups of ads. Okay, so that does look like a little mini-boss right there in the north corner. Let's see if I can just squeeze by him. I don't really feel... I want to try to conserve my food and see if it's possible to maybe do this in one run without having to bank. That would be ideal. Okay, so these guys, yeah, they're definitely attacking with magic, so I'm praying magic. I popped a devotion just to help, again, save some food. I have my tier 99 magic prayer on just to kind of help with the damage, but I might take that off while doing ads just to conserve prayer. You don't want to run out of super restore potions when you're halfway through the dungeon, then have to bank and come back. It's not a big deal, you know, if you're maxed, because you can choose max portal, but I personally am not maxed, so I have to kind of, you know, run back. So these guys look like they also attack with magic. Look like the same people on the outside door. So I'm going to try to use some AoE, you know, abilities that take them down. Looks like the one I was just attacking healed. So I'm not sure if they can heal themselves or if the Elite Soprana healed them. I'll have to figure that out. I'm not sure how that worked. But he looked like he healed about half of his health back, somehow. So I'm also noticing that whenever you kill these ads, they're taking down the blue barriers that block your path. So you have to kill certain ads in order to remove the barriers. If you look, you'll see the two barriers on either side of the ads. I'm not sure if I have to kill all the ads to unlock both barriers or how exactly that works. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so if you take down the left side, it'll take down the left barrier, and I'm assuming that if you take down the right side, it'll also take down the right barrier. Yep, okay. So that's how you do it. So I guess if you're making a speed run, you might not want to take down both barriers. You can just take down, you know, 3 of those guys and go through that one barrier. Just keep running through maybe. So I'm seeing a mini boss right here, and it appears to be this dragon that's kind of floating in the middle before the other dragons. So I'm going to engage him and see what happens with my first mini boss encounter. So I'm gonna pray magic because I'm not really sure how hard he hits. And we're gonna see how this goes. It doesn't really appear to be doing much damage to me. Again though, I'm also using Devotion and other defensive abilities to take him down. So that might be mitigating a lot of the damage. But for the most part, this boss, this mini boss, does not appear to be doing much damage to me whatsoever. Okay, so not too difficult to kill this mini boss. I'm using magic, and it was also using magic, so I might have a pretty good magic defense against that specific mini boss. I'm not sure if that was a fair indication of how all the mini bosses are going to be in difficulty. But something else I'm noticing as well is that after everything I'm killing, I'm also getting dungeoneering experience for it. Yeah, so like just killing that dragon just now, I got some experience. And I think every single NPC that I've killed so far in this dungeon is giving me dungeoneering experience. So this might not be a bad source of experience, or it might not be a bad way to level it. I read somewhere that it does scale to your level, so this might be a pretty reasonable way to train dungeoneering from here on out. We'll see. You know, the jury is still out on that one. But I'm going to keep killing these ads and follow this little path and see where it leads. Alright, the dragons have been cleared, and it looks like we've reached the first boss. So, this is cool. It looks like I could kind of slide past some of the dragons and the water fiend-like creatures on the other side of this bridge thing. So you don't have to kill everything. You know, you can kind of stay at a distance of things. But the boss looks great. It's got like a Claudia thing going on from like the beach event, except it's a neon recolor. So I think I'm just going to overload and try it out. So this doesn't look like you want to get hit by it, so I'm going to resonance it. I have a shield switch. Okay, so resonance does negate it. Okay, so I've got a purple fog thing on me. I imagine that when that little timer hits 0, it's going to... Yep, okay. So it puts a little timer on you, and the timer... Oh, okay, I resonanced it in time. Whenever the timer hits you, or whenever it runs out, it's going to leave the purple fog on the ground. So just be mindful of that. Okay, so I've got the timer on me again. When it runs out, it's going to leave the fog. Yep, okay. So, should resonance it again. Yes, okay, good. So it primarily attacks with range, but one of the attacks is where it shoots out little streams. That's actually a melee hit. So a little counterintuitive, but okay. So it spawns some ads. I'm not sure if it spawns the ads at a certain amount of HP that it has left or how that works. Looks like you can't use the fog to damage the ads. So this might hit me up. Okay, I got out of it. And boss is almost done. I've actually made the mistake of wearing my Ring of Death this entire fight. Or my ring of my Dwarven Ring the entire fight. Oh, okay. So as soon as you kill the boss, that barrier comes down, and if you did not kill those ads, they can clearly still attack you. So yeah, look out for that. Looks like the NPCs are a little different. So these are not the same enemies that we've been dealing with so far. So we have something called a cloaked zealot, which appears to attack with magic. And we also have some renegade Menifite soldiers. And an Eastern mercenary. I got this sword guy. So I'm taking out the sword guy first because he seems like he might be more dangerous than these mercenaries. So I'm gonna keep running through this dungeon. Got a door here, so I'm gonna take down these guys and see what happens. Now, so it looks like the Zealots spawn these little crab insect things, and you do not need to kill the crab insect things in order to take down the barriers if the Zealots are in front of you. So just be mindful of that. Looks like we've got 3 NPCs on a patrol route, and they're wearing Death Lotus, which is ranged. So I'm going to pray range and see what happens.
When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind works backwards just for a minute, I'm holding you before the memory's gone. I remember you. You lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you. I remember you. I remember you.
So we've reached a very large room with a pond in the middle, and surrounding the pond are water fiends and it looks like alligators. And there also appears to be some fish in the pond. But the fish, I think, are just purely aesthetic. I don't think that has anything to do with the combat of the room. So I've trained on water fiends before. It's actually how I got 99 summoning. I don't really need to figure out how to kill those. So I'm just gonna pray range and just run around these guys. I have a shield switch, so I just switched to my shield just to kind of get a little bit more defense as you run through. And it looks like on either side of the other end of the pond, it's blocked off by one of the blue barriers again. And there's a Zealot on either side. So it doesn't look like it really matters which side you chose. It's possible I might have missed something on the other side. But just first impression, didn't didn't seem to be any difference in whichever path you choose. So I don't know if I'm going the right way right now. I mean, this area is pretty big, so hopefully I'm choosing the right path. Gonna keep trying to deal with ads as best I can, and see where the path takes me. Okay, so I'm seeing another blue barrier at the top of the stairs, so I'm gonna cross my fingers. Hopefully I'm going the right way. I'm gonna try to surge past this little mini mob down there, and it looks like I can. And now I just have to take out the cloaked zealots. And I'm going to ignore the ads again, like always. And I'm just gonna soul split. I'm not taking a ton of damage here, so I think soul split is probably the best option, at least on story mode solo. I don't know about normal mode. But yeah, so I'm just gonna keep AoEing these little mobs down, and hopefully the barrier should open pretty soon. Okay, that was pretty quick. Alright, so we have another differently lighted room, and it looks like the people guarding the door are magic type opponents, so I'm gonna pray magic and let's pop a devotion just to be safe. And yeah, just gonna try to clear out this room. So after seeing the sheer size of this room and the adjoining rooms, I think it's safe to say that I probably am going the right way. I don't think that Jagex would have made this dungeon so big that people would be getting lost in it and, you know, killing ads for hours just to get, you know, to the right rooms, you know, for the right bosses. So I think I'm going the right way. And this room seems pretty self-explanatory, really. It's just really just keep soul splitting for the most part, as best I can tell. I mean, I'm not taking, you know, huge amounts of damage from anything in this room. Again, though, you know, in normal mode, you know, you might need to pay more attention to certain mechanics that I'm just not picking up on because they're not important in story mode, because the damage just isn't important enough. So we've got another room coming up. Looks like there's a lot of NPCs in that room. Looks a little intimidating. There's 2 NPCs right on the sides of the door, and they're the Death Lotus Rogues. So they're a range, and I'm magic, so I'm going to be a little weak to that. So I think I should probably take them out first. So I'm going to pray range and see if I can take them out without aggroing the rest of the room. These 2 guys are walking in. Well, I got them. So they're aggroed. And so is everybody else. But I took out the range without them all being on me. So I think I'm going to stick with Soul Split, because I honestly, I don't know what else to pray, because there's too many things going on. But if I can Sunshine and take them all out quick enough and deal enough damage, then it won't really be a problem, because I'm going to be healing it all back with Soul Split. It doesn't seem to be too difficult on story mode. Again, though, I'm also wearing tier 90 armor. You know, I'm wearing Tectonic, and it's augmented. I'm also using tier 92 weaponry and a tier 99 curse for like half of this dungeon. So just keep that in mind. You know, like, this is clearly soloable in tier 80. I think if you're, you know, pretty skilled, you could probably do it in tier 70 stuff. And you can also leave and bank. And, you know, I haven't left yet because I haven't needed to, but there's also always that option. And I was talking to some friends of mine, and you can teleport out of this dungeon. So, you know, if you're maxed, you can use your max cape and just tele out, you know, or go to the max portal. And that's even in combat. Even in boss encounters, you can teleport out. So, you know, if you're not maxed, you know, you can bring a teleport tablet or some other sort of, you know, item. Like for me, I have my Luck of the Dwarves, and I can teleport out, you know, in combat using that item. So it looks like I'm doing pretty good on food. I've still got, you know, like 80% of my pack yak still full of sailfish. I've got, you know, more than 2 super restores. I've still got my overloads. I've got some Sarah brews, some adrenaline potion left. And that is definitely a boss. Yeah, for sure. That combat level is out of control. So he is wearing some sort of spear, looks like. Can't tell what that weapon is. But I'm gonna assume that's a melee weapon. So I think praying melee is probably the best bet to start out with. Gonna overload up. And yeah, let's do it. So I activated my enhanced Excalibur. Yes, definitely attacking with melee. Okay, I'm going to devotion this because this looks really annoying. You can surge out of it, so that's good. I really hope this does not last a long time. Okay, there we go. Okay, so spawning these purple things, I'm assuming that you just don't stand near them. Looks like they're exploding, but it looks like they might be exploding towards me. which is interesting. I didn't really get hit by that though. So maybe I just dodged it, or I'm not exactly sure what kind of damage that did. Okay, so we got the spinny attack thing going on again. Maybe I can actually go upstairs? Yes. Okay, okay. So that makes getting away from the spinny thing considerably less difficult. So now he appears to be floating in the air and he's not taking damage. So, okay. So these little water things are attacking me right now. And they are doing magic damage, so I'm going to pray magic. I'm going to assume that I am doing this correctly and I'm just supposed to keep damaging these things down. I'm just going to assume that this probably lasts for another 30 seconds or so, and then maybe the boss will phase. This seems to be pretty easy though. These things are getting taken out in, you know, 1 or 2 hits, and you know, they seem to have a very low defense. So, you know, I'm not really missing any of the attacks, but they can spawn on both the upper plane and the lower plane. So I'm just looking at my mini map to more quickly find them. Okay, so he's on the ground and he's attacking me. So a friend of mine told me that in this phase, you're supposed to just keep praying magic, because he's going to do a magic attack, even though he's hitting you with range. So I'm waiting for the magic attack. Not seeing it. That looked like the magic attack right there. Okay, so it looks like he's doing maybe 4 or 5 ranged attacks. Yep, okay, that was the magic hit. Okay, so if you're not praying magic when he does that, it's supposed to hit you for like 6k. So, from what I've heard from friends of mine that have already done this, you just keep praying magic, because if you're trying to, you know, prayer switch and you miss the magic switch, you could easily die. So it's just not worth it. So if you have like a shield switch, or you have some defensives, then this might be a good place to just use some defensives to be safe, and just kind of try to keep tanking the damage. Especially in a dungeon like this where you can keep leaving and coming back with food. You know, you can always bring some additional Seiryu brews, and you should be okay. And there we go. Cool. So I got some dungeoneering experience and some dungeoneering tokens. That's cool. So I guess that's probably been happening this entire time. So I got 5,000 dungeoneering tokens. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I will not say no to additional tokens. Looking at the mini-map, it shows these 4 pillars as NPCs, and I'm seeing an attack option. So I'm just going to run out there, and okay, so need to pray magic, definitely need devotion. Yeah, that hit very high hits very quickly in comparison to the rest of the story mode dungeon thus far. So I definitely would suggest saving up adrenaline before entering this room, just so you can use devotion if you need it. Because I could definitely see how someone could die to that, especially if they weren't anticipating it. So I'm just going to run down here, take these other pillars out. I don't have devotion up yet, but I don't think I'll need it, because I have a lot of food still. And it looks like the pillars that are farther away aren't hitting as much as the ones that are closer. I'm not sure if that... Yeah, but I keep hitting a lot of ones, and I didn't use devotion. So, I'm not sure how consistent that is. That might be an intended mechanic. Okay, so that's the last one down. And I think the boss should be right up here. Yes, definitely the boss. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna maybe try to stall some adrenaline before fighting it. Wow, it looks really cool. Well done, Jagex. So I equipped my Ring of Death. I've been really bad about the ring switches so far, but definitely want to have it equipped for the fight, just in case I die and I can't teleport out in time. And I'm not gonna bank. You know, I think it'll be kind of cool to say that I did it without banking. So I think I'm just gonna try it. It's a dragon, so I'm just gonna assume it's gonna hit me with magic. So overloading up, Excalibur, and let's see what happens. Okay, so first attack, definitely hitting with magic, shooting out this purple dragon breath that seems to spread out once it's landed. And then a big sweeping dragon breath attack. Not sure if that can be residenced or not. Okay, so we have some, like a black tentacle portal thing spawns on the ground. You have to avoid, and then this pointer thing spawns. And it's shooting out what look like hands, or maybe they're also tentacles. I couldn't really tell what that was, but I don't think you're supposed to stand in that. So, some more purple dragon breath. Yeah, looks like hands spawning from the right hand side. Another portal tentacle thing comes up. Lots and lots of dragon breath. Okay, so you can devotion the big sweeping dragon breath attack. Okay, so we have the pointer on the ground again. And what is happening here? Yes. Okay, so pointer thing on the ground spawns more arm things that look like they come towards wherever the player was standing. So I know one of the mechanics coming up is I have to jump across. Okay, so it's coming up right now. So I have to jump across this thing and destroy the crystals on his back. And I can only come up here for a few seconds because little ads spawn on the ground. So I've never done this before, but I know I can't be up here too long. And I guess I should probably go back down now. I don't know. I don't want to mess this up. So yeah. So I'm seeing little blob things, and from what I understand, if they reach Seiryu, the dragon, then it will heal those crystals. So once you handle the blobs, you can go back up and start DPSing down the crystals again. So I don't know the best rotation for this. I feel like I should probably obviously use thresholds. I'm not sure how much time there is for sunshine. I really don't know that yet. And to my understanding, I should be able to stay up here and it'll force me back out. Yes. Okay. So it forces you back out, and then you then keep attacking the blobs. Yeah. So I'm going to keep attacking them. Want to make sure none of them reach the dragon. And I'm seeing the same attacks so far. Seems pretty consistent. Okay, there's the yellow pointer again. It's gonna spawn some arms. Yes. Okay, so it always looks like it's coming towards wherever you were just standing. And more dragon breath. Oh, okay, misclick. Okay, so it looks like the tail. Whenever you see the tail, like dig into the ground, that's when those tentacles are going to come up underneath you. So if you look in the, I guess the southeast corner is where his tail is. Whenever it's digging into the ground, you know that a black circle is going to appear where you're standing. So you're going to want to move out of the way of that. So this is a fairly intense fight. I don't know when he's going to phase. I haven't really been looking at his health to see at what point he phases. I don't really understand. But I'm just going to keep DPSing until the phasing happens. That was... I more casually avoided that one. And it seems like even if you don't have defenses up, the purple sweeping breath doesn't seem too consistent as far as hitting you. And even when it does hit you, it's not really too punishing. So I'm gonna jump back over the chasm. And finish off that crystal thing. Just a couple thresholds maybe. Not really sure how much time I have. I'm just gonna onslaught it. I'm gonna chance it. If I see a blob thing down there, I'll cancel the onslaught and go down. And I think I have a little bit more time here than I thought I did. Okay, so I see a blob, and I think I'm gonna go down. So yeah, just this would be a great spot for the roaming perk. So you can target more NPCs with your AoE abilities. Get back up here, keep DPSing down the crystal, and then, so it looks like there's 3 crystals. And I probably could have stayed up there a little bit longer, but I really just don't want to chance it. I've made it this far without banking. I really don't want to die now. But yeah, this is really fun. I can honestly say I think this is probably the coolest PVM content that Jagex has released so far in RuneScape 3. That's just my opinion though, but I mean I think this is a lot of fun. It's a little stressful, but it's fun.
I don't feel I have one. I wanna forget you, but only time will heal. Too late to erase the bad we've done. I wanna forget you. Let me forget you. Push and pull, but you repel.
phasing fairly soon. Not sure how much health it has left until it phases. It may not even be a health thing. It might even just be a time mechanic. I'm not quite sure yet. I would assume it's... Okay, there we go. So I'm going to jump over this. So now I'm jumping on the opposite side because this crystal was a little closer to this side. Plus I was already standing there, so it saves a little bit of time. And I'm going to attempt to get this down in one attempt if possible. I think I'm going to be able to make it. Yes, okay. Alright, switching the ring. Here we go. Okay, this is it. That was it. Okay. 5,000 Dungeoneering tokens. I didn't get a yeah, this is really cool. I didn't get any kind of achievement or anything, but this is story mode, so maybe I don't get any kind of achievement for doing it in story mode, but still very cool. Seiryu's like talking and stuff. You can't talk to him, but he's talking telepathically in the chat. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. Great looking boss too. Just the design. It's very, aesthetically pleasing. It's really taking RuneScape graphics to another level. That we've seen it, in the last few years. But this is just another example of, Jagex really making something look nice for the players. So, I really appreciate it. I think a lot of other people will too. And I'm going to check the loot chest to see if there's any loot on story mode. Search the chest. And doesn't appear to be any loot. So, luck of the dwarves may not really help you out too much when there's no loot. But in normal mode, it should help out quite a bit. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.